Welcome to Pole Hook Golf, the podcast, hosted by Matt Cook and Mike Perez. Holy cow, we are back, Mikey, for episode number 5. Can you believe it? I mean, we have officially finished 4 episodes, which technically, me and you, we always look at this like a golf tournament. And that is the completion of a round. And I mean, I feel like we made the cut. I feel like we got to Sunday and we were playing pretty good. We might not have won the championship yet.
No.
But that's why you play. You play to win the game.
That's why you practice.
Oh, that's why you practice. And guess who, ladies and gentlemen, has been practicing quite a bit lately? It's Mikey Perez. He is on the comeback trail. That knee is a robotic knee at this point. It's mechanical.
Bionic.
Bionic.
I'm the bionic man is what everyone's calling me now.
You were telling me that you were texting that out to a few people today.
Well, I was told that I was being the bionic man.
So
they asked me. So I'm like,
that was dripped.
That does sound kind of cool. Yeah.
Dude,
so
that's fantastic.
I feel great. I love it. Thank you for asking. And last week was great, just putting in all that work. And, it was...
Yeah, because you were out in San Diego at the Bridges.
Yep. I was at the Bridges, and as we all know, we were at the Bridges.
Yeah, if you listened to last week's episode, which I know everybody is dying to find out, how bad, Mikey, was the beating last week after the podcast episode? Was it a belt? Was it a whip? Like, I feel like it was old school, so it might have been a paddle.
It was so classic. I mean, no beating, more laughter than anything, because I go to him, I go, did you really just fucking come in there and do that when you knew I was doing this show? All I want to do is sleep. All I want to do is sleep. That's why I live alone. I go, well, Doug, that's why you've been married 17 times, and you just, okay, I'll pack and leave. But for those that know him, at the Bridges, know exactly what I had to deal with, but it was classic because it was only 9:30 or 9:20 or something, and I'm looking at my watch like, oh my gosh, what the heck? Really, is it that late? No.
I tried to keep it in, and I just couldn't contain myself. I started bursting out laughing, especially when you looked at your watch, because before you looked at your watch, you were kind of like a deer in headlights, like, oh my God, was this like the first episode to where we went freaking 3 hours long? And like, does he have a legitimate gripe here? And then as soon as you saw 9:30, your face was so relieved. You started laughing. Oh, brilliant.
When I saw him come through the door, I mean, mind you, he did come in one time and just kind of gave a, one of these. And then we kept going on. And unfortunately, I had some technical difficulties with his computer, so that's why I had to go to the laptop. But my laptop, which I should have just done in the first place, but regardless, it was frightening. You can't write that shit. I mean,
you really can't.
I was not expecting that, and it was 9:30. He said he had to get up at 4:30. And the best part is, the son of a bitch was up until 11:30.
Of course, you got his blood working
because we talked.
Yeah, he was pissed.
No,
his blood pressure went through the roof.
You know what's amazing though? He was pissed, but he was fine. If that makes any sense. It was so funny. I'm like, oh my gosh, Matt's gonna kill me. I go, because
I thought it was the funniest thing on the face of the planet.
But I mean, if you knew the guy, I've known him since I was 19 years old. So when that happened, I'm like trying to go 10 more minutes or something. I don't know what the hell I was trying to do.
Oh, but you had the arm gestures going.
Dude, my face, I'm like, is this really happening?
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of flying out of JFK, and the airport team, like when you're like backing the plane out for the pilots, and you're doing this. I felt like I was watching a jet come in, and you were guiding it into landing, but it exploded in the process. It just went absolutely haywire.
I can't believe it. Still, I love it. And if anyone knows him, they know that that's what's to be expected.
I think I watched the clip 100 times.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you sent it to me and I showed it to, I sent it to my mom and she's like, that's him. That's him. And anyone from the Bridges that watches this is going to realize nothing's changed. I've known him since I was 19, like I said, and it's been the same.
Now, I've never met this guy, but I
He's
felt
amazing. He's
like
the
I
best
went
human
back
being, though.
into my 13-year-old self and was being reprimanded by an adult, and I'm just like,
How about the door slam? The door slam.
That's the best part.
I mean,
and how about Mr. Short Game? Mr. Short Game, to be on that episode was so priceless because his reaction to it was just absolute class. And then he's like, he goes, your backdrop was shaking when he slammed the door.
I tell you what, remember when he texted us and said, that was probably the best podcast I've been on because...
You're being modest. He said that was the best podcast he's
good
ever
point.
been on.
Yeah, that's a good point. And Mr. Short Game, thank you. I mean,
yes,
we
Mr.
got
Short Game.
We got to thank him first for just bearing with me and my technical difficulties. Because,
we didn't even bring that up on the show.
Well, his computer, it
wasn't his computer.
First of all, here's the deal. I was all stressed out first because he decided to call DirecTV first because the TV wasn't working.
Oh, so clarify.
Guess who has to talk to him?
Not Mr. Short Game.
No, not Mr. Short Game. My buddy.
Your buddy who you were staying with at the Bridges.
Yes, correct. And the living room TV wasn't working. And he decided to call DirecTV. And we usually do our shows at 7 o'clock, 7:15.
Yeah, and even with the setup that I set up for you at your place, you still have to make adjustments before every single show.
Correct. And I tried to do all that prior, but now I'm on the phone with DirecTV, and the way DirecTV works is that they send you a link. So I'm on his cell phone and a link on a live video chat with the DirecTV people, showing them all the boxes and this and that. I go, listen, will you just email me the information that I need so I can help my friend and he can stop yelling at me? Because at this point, it's my fault, even though I had nothing to do with it. But that's what I do. I got his golf cart fixed today, and I'm in Scottsdale now. I had new batteries put in his golf cart for him at the Bridges.
Wow,
and
look
thanks
at
to
you.
Joy, I get his knives sharpened for him. I'll do anything for this guy. Wow. You know what I mean? And
well, that's just because of how good of a guy you are.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and you're absolutely right.
You wear it on your sleeve 100%, and I love it.
I appreciate that. Thank you. But that's how the episode started. So, as you know, you were very patient with me, by the way, because I was like, all right, I got to hurry up. I got to do that. I got to hurry. We got to do this. We got Mr. Short Game waiting 30 minutes. So, thank you, Mr. Short Game, for waiting and being patient with.
I think we delayed it 30 minutes too, which made me feel even worse.
Yeah, so it was like an hour.
And you tried, so anybody who's in tech will realize very, very quickly that you don't set up something brand new right before you need to go on air or do a demo or anything like that. I know you thought it was plug and play and that you were just going to be able to get on his computer, be able to do the same thing. Luckily,
which is like what I have at home, but luckily I did everything on my laptop.
You brought your laptop, which I had set up for you ahead of time, and you had some connections to Wi-Fi. That's why you went with the full-on, the brand new computer setup. Yeah. And then, of course, you had to download the Zoom software, which who has to download Zoom nowadays?
You already did it in my...
in your laptop, but not for his.
Oh, no.
But on his, you needed his password, and then he didn't know it, and it was just... Everything left, right, and sideways was going wrong in that scenario.
Yeah.
And poor Mikey was stressed. Let me tell you, people,
that DirecTV person pissed me off. That lady pissed me off because all I wanted to do, and then she went on for 10 minutes about a survey. I go, listen, I don't have time for this shit, and I don't give a shit about the survey. I don't even live here. And
So
you're not
I was
gonna give me
actually on the
email.
phone with you when you had that last part to the conversation with DirecTV, and you're like, I have to go. I have to record a podcast.
Yes. I was. I
Could
have to
you
go to
imagine
work.
what she
Yeah.
was thinking?
She didn't care. She barely spoke English, so I couldn't understand her. So I gotta do it twice.
Oh, boy.
She could have been in India for all I know.
Well,
it's
here-
like talking to American Express
Oh, no. You know what I'm about to say.
or Intel. One of the two.
We're digressing already in this episode. And we haven't even really gotten started
Anyway,
yet.
that's
This
what
is
got
just the
me fired
carryover.
up, and I know you were very patient with me.
You were fired up. I've never
Yeah.
seen you so agitated before.
Well, I was ready to go 45 minutes prior, and I'm gonna get everything set up, and now I'm on the phone with DirecTV. Who I don't even know anything about DirecTV because I hate cable because I charge too much.
Oh, no.
I mean,
You
know,
attack everybody on this show.
I will, and you guys charge too much. You take advantage of us. Broke.
You gotta cut the cord. Now, is that Sevi in the background that I'm hearing? It sounds like he's thirsty. Is he getting some good water over there?
Sevi, what are you doing out of the room?
Yeah, he's killing it, huh? Yeah, you
This-
can't be mad at him, though.
His
I
name's
mean,
Sevi. How can you be
listen,
mad at Sevi?
right? Unless he gives you or pays you, you're getting flustered already. Unless Sevi pays you, like he paid DLB with Japanese large shirts
Well, my dog is
of the brand Sevi Ballesteros from Dunlop.
He is thirsty.
Hey, very, very thirsty. The boy needed to drink. You
Yeah,
gotta
he
let him drink. And
Just like his old man.
yes, exactly. I mean,
Yeah.
that's why here we'll take a quick drink
Yeah.
break here for a second.
Sevi, go back to bed.
We just started the show and we're already needing
Hammered?
a drink break. No, needing a drink break. I feel
No, I
great.
don't get hammered. No.
I feel like because of the stress that was going on last week, all of a sudden, before we even started the show, I was a drink in already. And normally I start my first drink
Just one?
at the start of the show. Well, Mikey, I got to the point to where
You had
I'm like,
three
wait a
by
second.
the
Yeah,
time I was
no,
doing
by
this.
the time we got to the show, I was a couple deep. Like the next morning I woke up and I'm like, whoo, that's
Yeah.
a hangover.
I don't get those.
You're like JD.
No,
Good
I'm
old John
profe-
Daly.
Yeah, I guess I'm a professional.
Listen, John Daly's a professional.
Yeah,
He was on a podcast recently, and he was talking about you just stick with one. You stick with one type of alcohol, and you don't get a hangover if you do that. I mean,
He's
that's
Belvedere Rocks.
pro status right there.
Yeah. But thank God he's feeling healthy. That's all that matters. I'm just glad. As bad as it sounds, but he's still healthy.
He looks great.
Well, let's not get carried away. I mean, I love the guy to death. He's like a big brother, just like Elk. Oh,
At
God.
some point, we're going to have to tell the story about how he killed your grill, but that is not tonight. That is down the
pan.
road. Well,
Both actually. Let's just say that grill I don't think was supposed to get that hot and put that much charcoal in there and ruin my nice iron skillet.
Fair
But whatever, it's JD. He can do what he wants.
now going back to Mr. Short Game, because
Yep.
behind us now, to our podcast listeners, we've always got our backgrounds, which we've always got great golf courses behind us. Mikey, why don't you tell me what the relevance here is to the golf course that's sitting behind us and what we might be doing at the end of May?
Well, that course behind us is the Madison Club in Palm Desert, and I got to pull a few strings. My buddy
Madison
is-
Club, if you're listening,
if you're listening,
we need a few strings pulled.
you know, you've seen me on property before, and I stay on number one green with a certain somebody that, let's just say he builds probably one of the best houses in the world. And
That's
he's
a
one of
big
the
acclaim.
greatest. No, he is. He is one of the best. Like I said, I mean, my mom sold real estate for a long time in California, in Southern California, and nobody builds a house like Paul Munch and Richard Doan.
Wow,
Just
there you go.
bottom line. And he does a lot of work out there. He's a member there. He's done a lot in Rancho Santa Fe. But I'm lucky enough to know the guy since I was a kid, and I get to stay there. But we want to bring Mr. Short Game out there. You, of course, and Mike from Golfholics.
Seems like we got a little match.
Yeah.
Finally,
But we might
somebody
throw a
brave
twist in
enough.
it. Yeah, but I'm gonna. Hopefully, I can call JJ 1-800 handled or Dante. But Mr. Doan will probably let us out. And the GM is a great guy there, too. I mean, he's awesome. Everybody there is incredible.
It's a class act out there.
That course, I mean, the course is not only fantastic, the amenities. You know, you go to any Discovery Land property, the amenities are off the charts. And
so I've never been on property.
Any property, I mean, you don't know who you're going to see. You can see, like, you go down to El Dorado, you got Clooney, Stallone's lot. Then it goes Melvin, Larry David, George Strait, Elway's up there. You know, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but
lot of big names out there.
Shanahan, you know, Crocs. You got. I mean, it's nuts. And the property, the customer service is just like the Bridges. You know, I mean, the Bridges is unbelievable. You know, that's a place that's just incredible. But Madison Club and Discovery property, you know, it's I mean, you could put the Bridges in that category 100%. You could put Santa Luz in that category, and that's a wonderful spot too.
Santa Luz is a great spot.
Yeah,
I've actually been on property there.
Yeah, I mean that's great. And then they just redid Rancho Santa Fe Country Club. Ooh. I mean, it is. Yeah, they redid it.
We got some spots we got to get out to, Mike.
Yeah, but you know, you go to San Diego, you got 6 different courses, and you won't see the same hole twice. You know, it's not like in Scottsdale where you see a lot of the same holes. Not saying there's bad golf out here. I mean, Silverleaf is amazing, like we talked about last time.
Silverleaf, Desert Mountain, Whisper
Desert
Rock.
Mountain, Desert Canyon, or Desert Forest. Desert Forest, Quintero.
Yeah.
I mean, we have so many good courses out here, and there's too many of them. Encanterra, I love. I don't know if you ever played Encanterra, but that is a really cool course. It's way the hell.
I haven't. Now, I used to play a lot of golf courses out here because
Southern Highlands, Southern Dunes.
Yeah, of playing at Grand Canyon University, which is here locally. And at the time, we didn't have a golf course. So this, I date myself because it goes back before the Grand Canyon University golf course, which used to be Maribel, which was a dog track. And for what they were able to do.
I love Maribel.
You love Maribel?
I do like Maribel.
It was such... Or no,
Estancia and Maribel. Estancia was one of Melvin's
not
first
Maribel
courses.
up in North Scottsdale.
Oh,
Maryvale is what I'm saying. Maryvale, which was the public golf course where the Grand Canyon University course is now. Was a public course, got taken over by Grand Canyon University. They revamped the whole entire thing, and they took a city dog track and actually made it into a real golf course.
It's a safe neighborhood too.
It's a fantastic golf course. Yeah, no, Grand Canyon's never been in the nicest of neighborhoods, but they've done a phenomenal job of really changing the neighborhoods. Really did. Now, also with that said, one of the things that I will bring up about the Madison Club in particular is that my buddy Pete, I mentioned he was at Riv, he was at Madison Club, he was up at Desert Mountain with me, but Petey, he used to tell me all the time about how great of a facility and just the amenities and the things that they would be able to do for the membership is just unreal. So if I get the opportunity to step foot on there, I am going to be very, very gracious. You know, we're going to do just some publicity around it and so forth with the Pull Hook podcast. But also you've got 2 of the biggest YouTubers in the golf space with the Golfaholics and also with Mr. Short Game that I think it's an absolute home run from a publicity standpoint. Not to say that they need it, but people are going to get a kick out of what amenities they have and just how great of a facility and how well it's run.
It's so crazy. And Mr. Melvin, you know, he's got, you know, so much stuff. Tom Hammer III, I mean, he's sponsored by all those guys. Well, he's sponsored by Discovery, so he gets to play all the great courses. And, you know, when he retires, he's most likely going to do stuff with Discovery. But I'll tell you what, they have some properties. It's absolutely insane. It's just a joke. I mean, they have these comfort stations that are all different, right? And they're the size of an apartment. And the beef jerky. I mean, I've
heard about the beef jerky.
The beef jerky is the greatest. The tacos. at any course, I mean, all of them are very special, and
So you're telling me you're a
that's
fan?
that's kind of, yeah, I'm a huge fan. When they were kind enough to, after I won the big break, they I had Baker's Bay and the Madison Club and the Discovery on the side for my golf bag, and they sent me shirts with Madison Club on there, but then I got hurt, so.
It happens.
But
that's what ended my mini tour days.
The bag they sent me was, yeah, but I had like a lot of starts after the big break and on the PGA Tour and the deal on the Corn Ferry, but. I was supposed to play with Wayne Gretzky and his wife Janet and their event, and I had to call them, and I really tried like hell, 3 days or maybe 5 prior, and I telling them, listen, my thumb, I just can't do it. It's done. I just can't. So that's when I went to go work for Wright Toyota, so, and thank God for Jay Francis for, they always have my back and all those guys. But at the same time, these places are very special. They're not cheap. So if it's not like, if anybody asks how much it is, then you shouldn't really be there.
No. So
right?
I shouldn't be there.
Well, no, I don't. I shouldn't be. I'm very lucky that, Donnie lives there, and he's like, come on, kid, get out of town for the weekend. Come on out, even when the course is closed, we still have a good time because the place is amazing.
Well, that's one of the cool
Canelo's there hanging out. I'm hanging out with Canelo in the bar.
But one of the coolest things about what Mr. Short Game's doing, what Golfaholics do, is that they give insights to people that are never going to step foot onto that property.
Correct.
And that's what is so... It's almost like the... Oh, gosh, I don't even know what the right term for it is, and I'm going to be upset with myself after the episode that I didn't grab the right word, but it's almost as if like they're giving them an insight and giving them, just like a musician does or just like a professional athlete does when they go out and perform. Right. It is going to be along those same lines, and we're really excited. I mean, you and I are pretty confident, and what's great is that finally somebody has finally accepted our match play offer of let's go out and get this, because
that's a good point.
Mikey, who keeps dodging us right now?
Well, I mean, we're waiting for Riggsy to get back to us right now.
That's right.
Yeah, and
dodging.
Lurch, Frankie,
dodging.
Call me. We're
dodging.
just gonna have a good time.
Yeah, listen, we're just gonna win a little bit of money from you.
I'll drink some
It's
Trulies.
completely fine.
I'll drink some Trulies.
Of course.
I drink Vizzies, but you know what?
Yeah.
For you, Riggs, I will drink some Trulies.
There you go.
I will do whatever you want. You know that, buddy. And we'll have a good time. You know what?
We'll create some great content.
There
the people want to see it.
And
people, if you want to see that, add a comment to Foreplay Pod. And on Instagram, Twitter, wherever it is, add a comment to them and say, hey, why are you guys dodging the pole hook golf guys?
Yeah.
Those guys want some action.
Well, what we can do is get me, you, Mr. Short Game, and Mike from Golfaholics against those 4. Let's see what happens.
Exactly. We're playing a good old-fashioned
Let's play at 4, or we'll just, we can do a 4-man scramble, which... I don't know what we'd have to think about this, but I know Mr. Short Game and Mike would be from Golfaholics. I know they would be down for it. And
I would love to bring them in as our teammates for sure.
Absolutely.
Not to say that, I mean, we're not lacking confidence.
I never have.
Never will.
Well, I have before.
The truth comes out.
I have before.
Do you know what? We didn't even set the stage to this episode. I didn't even say what was upcoming at all. And here's the thing. I think this is a good time, since we have challenged Foreplay Podcast once again to a match play competition. I'm not even going to throw out what number it is at this point. There's not going to be a PSA on this episode, a public service announcement, around us playing them in a match play event. But we're going to...
Maybe we'll get Butsy on them.
I like that idea. The last week was the Masters. And we have some huge topics to talk about from that. Now, beyond the Tiger Woods, the Scottie Shefflers, we're going to dive into those who maybe were a little less fortunate. talk about that. And then we're going to jump into Beyond. And I'm just looking at my notes here off screen, because a lot of it is tied around the Masters, but I wanted to make sure I blanked on the name, but Harbour Town with the RBC this week, and how that's kind of overshadowed by the Masters because that's such a phenomenal golf course and just an absolute awesome place. We'll talk a little bit about that. And then, Mikey, you took place in an event. We won't get into it yet, but at the end of the episode, we're going to talk about Operation Game On and everything that took place back on April 4th around the event that took place at Fairbanks. So
my father's. Yep.
Exactly. We're gonna tie that in because Mikey was a part of that event, and we definitely want to hear about it because let's face it, there were some great shots taken of you.
Thank you.
You sent me a couple of them, and I was shocked. I was like, wow, that actually looks like a real impact position.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, it's nice having our right side again. Yeah, my buddy Mark Damasco, his buddy came out and followed us for 9 holes. He had this insane camera, and he took a lot of photos. So
it was
to
8,
see that one photo,
right?
8,000 frames per second,
That's
and you can
awesome.
see the ball come off the driver. That was on number like 6, I think, or no 5. But just to see it back at that position and not stuck underneath Jimmy Flick, but Elk always told me to, you gotta get that hand forward, motherfucker. You gotta get that hand forward, motherfucker.
Well, to our
then they do you with me?
To our podcast listeners, you can't see what Mikey's doing right now, but we do the simulcast on YouTube. And then also, by the way, these photos that Mikey's referring to, we put up on Instagram. So if you're not following Pull Hook Golf on Instagram, please do so because we post a lot of content there. You're going to have a lot of insights. Mikey and I are going to do some live stuff here and there as we go along. We haven't been doing it yet, but we plan on doing quite a bit of it, especially when we're out at the golf courses, which leads me into a topic that I did not mention, part of our Masters recap, which this has nothing to do with it, but it has to do with you and me, which we are Pull Hook Golf. So we have a golf event coming up on Saturday, but it might not be the biggest golf event in the world. We're just going out and playing.
We're going to have fun. We're going to go have fun. That's all that matters.
We're going to record some content.
I have a tournament next week, so we have to play golf.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
We discussed. We're like, all right, Mikey, you got to get ready. Let's get you trained up. Let's go out to Greyhawk.
I'd like to thank Tim Clark for giving me golf balls today because I don't have any more. So Tim Clark, thank you very much. I love you, brother. So he gave me some golf balls for my tournament, and if you're lucky, I'll give you a ball, Matt.
And Tim, if you are listening, I used to play college golf with 2 of your South African buddies, and I do have a question for you if you ever do come onto the podcast around some Adidas checks and how they were stuffed in your couch. So I would love to find out. I would love to confirm or not deny this. And the Masters recap. Here we go. Now, Mikey.
Yeah.
To start off with the Masters recap, we have to talk about Tiger Woods.
How can you not?
The GOAT
of
the game. Did I hear I love him out of you? Because I love him.
I was.
Did you freeze?
I do love him, and I do love what he's done for our game.
He's the barometer.
Yeah, I think I mean, besides Seve, because you know what Seve means to me.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
I hear you.
But Seve, but go ahead. I mean, it's just
No, I mean,
GOAT.
It's just unbelievable what he was able to do with his appearance at the Masters and playing in it. Now, that alone of showing up and teeing off on Thursday and not having to withdraw, how freaking incredible is that?
It's heart. That's heart. That's how he is. I mean, does he look like he was out of the game for 17 months?
No.
Maybe this was part of his plan. Maybe the doctors told him it was only going to be 6 months. And then he got on the juice or whatever. Who the hell knows? But he looks great.
Well, you look at Conor McGregor, he had the same thing. You got Tony Hawk now.
Remember that? Yeah.
And Conor's not back. Now, granted, that's combat sports. I don't know how much pain Tiger's in, but it sure does seem like a lot.
It looked like a lot, yeah. I mean, especially legs.
Sunday.
Legs. And that, people who haven't been to Augusta, when you walk that place, it's not easy. The TV does no justice, like we talked about last episode, but
Ian Baker Finch, he told a story at the
Ian
private
Baker
Masters
Finch.
event.
Yeah.
That literally, it was the most difficult golf course on the entire schedule in terms of physical, just how it would give you shin splints and you would need your ankles wrapped because by the third and fourth days, you had been walking up and down so much that it just really takes a toll on your body.
That's where endurance comes in. And, if his legs, he's had U.S. Open 2008, right? And then he finished. That's just heart. And he won, so it was great to see him play.
It really was.
I mean,
I was locked in. I was locked in Thursday and Friday.
And he made the cut.
Friday was a little bit of a letdown, but I mean, that's to be said. And then Saturday was
Wasn't it cold as shit though?
Saturday was absolutely
brutal. So, when you're going through all that stuff and the cold hits your joints, if you got bad, if you're bone on bone or whatever he's got going on, trust me, it doesn't feel good when it's cold. It really hurts.
That's what I've heard.
And I've gone through it. I'm not saying I'm this great ass golfer or whatever, but I've played in it with a lot of pain as far as my wrist, my thumb, my elbow, and my knees. So now that I'm all fixed, I felt it even though when I got back from San Diego, but it was cold a couple days and I felt it in my knee. So it does affect your legs and your body, and it's no fun, especially on that golf course too. But it's so amazing to see him there. He made the cut. He brought so much. I mean, the whole vibe is different. I don't know, because
all I remember is that the environment was completely different from Tiger being there and Tiger not being there. The crowd was different. It just had a different feel to it. The roars weren't the same. It was almost like more of an even keel type of feel versus that fever pitch of what you get when Tiger Woods is approaching. There you go. Love it. Mm-hmm. Back to the Masters recap. We were talking about Tiger and how great he looked and just these challenges that are coming up with him. Did you hear at the end of his round, he was talking about the difference really is now that he has to go into ice baths after the round to get down the inflammation and everything going on. Have you ever done a full-on ice bath?
Yes.
It's brutal. It's painful.
It hurts really
I don't think majority of people have ever done it, and they probably don't understand, but it's one of the more painful things that you can do to actually get yourself healed up.
Yeah, it's not like Bull Durham where they're pulling the boat motor and you're getting in there. It's very painful.
I was a little bitch with my hamstrings. Like, I was just putting 2 ice packs underneath them, and I'm sitting there going, this is the most painful thing ever.
Jump in the pool when it's in the wintertime. That's painful, and that's only like 50 degrees.
That's actually a good point. Anybody who
lives
in cold weather territories like New York or anywhere in the northern states, even down here during the winter time, it gets cold.
Yeah.
So go to a non-heated pool and jump in and see how you like it. It's gonna hurt.
And sit there for 15 minutes.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah, exactly. Try it.
It doesn't
20
feel
seconds.
good.
20 seconds. It's like ice picks.
Yeah, I want to get
every single thing. It's brutal. I've had to do it, and it works, but I'd rather take an Epsom salt bath than a hot bath Epsom salt. But
hey, can we cheers to Tiger? Tiger, cheers to you, man.
And our song is dedicated to you, by the way.
Absolutely. So, you might not think highly of it, but man, is it a good song?
Oh, he loves it. Yeah. Steel Panther did a great job with that song. And I think he's fine with it. There's no problem with it.
I think he's gotten to the point in his life and career to where he can accept what's happened and understand that there's comedy that goes behind it and so forth. Like
he should be flattered that Steel Panther wrote a song about him.
And you said Dave Chappelle did the whole Tiger Woods scare with the
on
the last episode.
That was worse. At least Panther wrote a song that was, kind of true You know, in a way, 3 holes are better than a hole in one. I mean, something like that. You know what I mean? Filling all the divots in the neighborhood.
Yep.
You know.
Yeah, that's fair.
Whatever. But, he probably didn't. But, that's what the boys do. They know how to write lyrics. And Satchel just kills it on guitar. It's a great intro. And, it's a funny song.
When we say this is unlike any other golf podcast, my God, just listen to that segment and how we went from cheersing to Tiger and the unbelievable job that he did just to get through 4 days to the famous incident and then Steel Panther, which is our intro song.
I love Steel Panther.
I mean, there's no other podcast that can connect these two. I mean, we just we think very differently than most people.
Yeah, that's because your partner is an absolute
savage
idiot and doesn't care.
Ah, you're a savage.
You know what I mean? We just say what's on our mind and it is what it is, whatever the hell that means, and we'll go from there.
The best part is now we're going to jump into Scottie Shaffler.
Yes.
And how about Scottie Shaffler? First win coming at the Waste Management Open. Then the floodgates fucking open, Mikey.
I think his first win, to be honest with you, even though it wasn't a win, well, it was a win, was the Ryder Cup and how he performed in the Ryder Cup. I was like on the fence.
How did I know you were going to go there? We didn't even talk about this.
I know, but
you're right though.
I mean, he proved himself. He proved himself, and that's when I'm like, okay.
Mr. Tiny Dancer.
Yeah, what a hell of a pick. I mean, what a pick, Better than Hunter Mahan laying the sod over it, and what I mean? Poor Hunter, I mean, whatever, he's got to live with that, but at the same time, I mean, this kid stepped up. This
kid's a damn stud.
Good. He may look like Fred Astaire out there on the tee box, but it works.
Well, you heard what Gary Player said, right, about Tiger Woods? That if Tiger had never got a lesson, that he would have already surpassed Jack Nicklaus. And that lessons actually made him a worse player because...
With what coach, though? Not Butch.
I mean, you and I know, but... Him and Butch was the perfect combination. Yeah, I mean, my God, there has never been a golf duo, which... However, we look at Scotty and Teddy.
Foley's had some good.
Yeah, duos. but he, I'm going outside.
I love Foley
of instructor and player or coach and player to caddy and player.
Yeah.
Right, because we look at Scottie Scheffler. When did he start winning?
This
what happened?
Last 2-3 months. Oh, when he started winning. What happened? When he got Teddy. That's when he
Explain who Teddy is, because I know a lot of our listeners might not be that tight into the golf world.
Teddy worked for Jerry for God knows how many years. I don't even know how long.
And who's Jerry?
Bubba Watson. Sorry.
There you go.
But yeah, Teddy worked for Jerry for God knows how long. Got 2 Masters with him and a couple of LA went. I mean, what a great career he had with Bubba. I mean, Bubba's a natural talent. He's an old school. I mean, there's nothing modern about his game, which is so great. He keeps it old school. He works the ball left to right, this and that, and he was very successul with that.
He's an artist.
Especially when the equipment was different, and the balls were different, and you had to hit shots and all of that stuff. But, Bubba is a great player. He truly is, and he's a natural player.
He's a different guy, though. He's a different breed of guy. And
I was going to say different breed of cat.
Well, what Teddy had
to
do,
shit.
He did. I mean, there is time and time again to where Teddy's getting scolded in front of the cameras. And again, if you're not part of the golf industry or understand or watch or are a golf fan, because I know we can relate to different types of people, right? We have all different types of people listening to this show who necessarily aren't golf fans, which is fantastic.
Right.
But Teddy used to just get absolutely verbally abused by Bubba. If there was anything that ever went wrong, it was Teddy's fault.
Yeah, you're the one hitting the shot.
Yeah.
First of all, okay? You can walk off your own numbers. That's what most players do. Hey, what do you got? I got this. Okay, well, we're within a yard. Perfect. What do you got from right to, what's the back? What's the front? What do we have on the right side over the ridge on the green? You know, you talk about that stuff. Just like the mad scientist did with, what's his name? I don't even know the caddy's name, but we're talking about DeChambeau. But Bubba, yeah, you know, great player, but he did treat him like shit. And I've seen it.
But it was mainly on the putting green because Teddy used to read all of his putts. And anytime at all that there was a missed putt, it wasn't who
Phoenix
he referred
Open,
to as Jerry.
when Stads won.
It's not Jerry, it's Teddy.
and when Stads won, when Bubba missed that putt on 18, Bubba lived here at the time. He knew, and he played there. He knew he played there in Estancia.
Yeah.
And he knew what that putt did. But those greens are so different anyway. It's either you putt good or you putt like shit.
But also with reading putts, like there's an art to it. It's not a science. I mean, it is a science technically.
Still speed.
But you can't do it perfectly all the time. Like Jack Nicklaus said, sometimes you can hit a perfect putt and it doesn't go in.
Yeah.
But every single time that there was a big putt that he missed, man, was Teddy getting scolded. And on broadcasts. I mean, all the time. Like, everybody in the golf industry felt terrible for this guy. And now what I love about it is, like, he's in retirement. And somebody posted this on social media about how Teddy is the richest retiree ever because he's making more money in retirement than ever before. And my God, is he just having a blast. Like, he's got his own Instagram account, which is hilarious. Like, the guy is really, really funny, and you can just tell. There's been a weight lifted off of him, and he is enjoying life right now. He can be himself.
He's not getting, he's getting treated by a kid that is grateful to have him. You know what I mean? Grateful to have him. You know, who knows more of these courses than Teddy? Bubba's been out there a while, right? I mean, almost, 20 years? At least 20. I remember playing with them in Canada on the Buy.com tour. But Teddy wasn't on the bag. I think Angie, his wife, was at the time, to be honest.
I do have to give it up to Bubba Watson, though.
Well, I do
because
too.
he was on an interview and he goes, listen, Teddy and I had a conversation. We decided to mutually part because he said, I need another 10 years. And Bubba didn't know. And Bubba's been dealing apparently with some injuries that he didn't disclose.
Yeah.
And I got to give him credit for that because that's a big move for somebody that you're close with, and it's got to be killing him to see Teddy doing so well with Scotty Sheffler. But at the same time, like if you were in it for Teddy, one, you probably wouldn't be chewing his head off.
Teddy's side.
I was always on Teddy's side as well. It was tough not to be, right? Yeah. Because Teddy didn't say a word. Teddy would just take the verbal abuse and move on. And one of the things that I absolutely love about this whole entire situation is that now Teddy is in the limelight.
Yeah.
Where he's getting getting the acknowledgement as to how good he really is. It's That's like right. Michael Geller with Jordan Spieth, right?
Yeah.
You see that dynamic, and now we've got that dynamic with Teddy and Scotty. And what was awesome is that on the 4-putt on Sunday on 18. So Scotty Sheffler, 4 putts for a 3-shot win. 4 putts.
He 4-putted 18?
He 4-putted.
I didn't know that.
The most beautiful thing ever was that his second putt was from probably 3 feet, and he lips out, and it goes even further. It goes like 4 feet away. Teddy stops him. It's like, man, you got this.
Yeah.
You're the guy.
So he knew he won, and he's just so...
But then, no.
How that feeling?
Even better is after the 3rd putt, and he misses. Like, he completely misses the 3rd putt.
I had no clue about
I don't even think the 3rd putt hit the cup.
Oh my.
And Teddy once again goes over to him and goes, you've got this.
Good for him.
And finally Scotty settled. And Scotty even mentioned it afterwards that the moment got to him, right? He knew he was winning the Masters. But he all of a sudden, after he missed the 3rd putt, he had that moment to where he goes, oh my God, did I just blow the lead? He didn't know. In that moment, you start to doubt yourself. You start to doubt what you know. And he started to doubt himself. And so by Teddy telling him, no, you got this.
Yeah, because the board's right there to the left.
It settled him down.
Yeah.
And then he was able to go in and tap it in. Little bit of a humbling moment for him because he dominated.
A 4-putt? See, that's
from Thursday through Sunday.
That's something Tiger would never do. That's something Phil would never do.
Did you also hear the story about how Scotty talked about that morning he was very, and this is what I love about Scotty Sheffler.
Next day or that morning?
he talked about it after the win. He talked about the fact that morning of Sunday, he broke down and cried.
I thought that was Monday. I thought I heard Monday. That was
Sunday. So before the round, he broke down and cried and goes, I don't know if I'm ready for this. And his wife told him, why aren't you ready for this?
Yeah.
And
that's a good power. That's what it takes. A team like that.
Behind every great man is a great even a better woman.
That's right.
That's one of the biggest things.
His high school sweetheart.
And he's a religious guy.
See, that's the funny thing. Not to cut you off here real quick, but the thing with the religion thing, Bubba's a huge Christian or whatever. Mm-hmm. Teddy is.
So is Teddy.
So is Scheffler. So it's kind of like, okay, Bubba, why would you treat him like shit if you're supposed to be so kind and giving and all this? I mean, what a double standard it is. You know what I mean?
But also in the moment.
That's my problem.
But also in the moment. So you can say these things, right? That you want to be this type of person. But if you're not that person, guess what? In the heat of the moment, it's going to come out.
That's right.
And you're going to snap.
Yeah.
And that's what used to happen with Bubba all the time. Bubba didn't want to be that guy.
Have you ever seen Teddy back Bubba off?
No.
I don't recall. And Bubba gets a lot of airtime. He gets a lot of airtime. I've never, ever seen him back him off.
No.
But it's good for Teddy. And Scheffler is a great, just to see his wife, who looked classy, and his family there, and all that, that was a great moment.
Foundation, right? Yeah. Great foundation. Just like Jordan Spieth, and I brought up the Micah Geller. Now, I did mention in the beginning of last week's episode, and I didn't want to detract from Mr. Short Game because we wanted to gain his insights and everything, but I got a little master story about Jordan Spieth, and on number 12, because we brought that up, and I'm like, oh man, I need to bring this up, because it was a pretty neat moment. So I was out there.
You were there.
I was there. So I was there for Jordan's win, and then I was there the year after for the big loss, and I was there actually the year prior when he lost to Bubba. So I was there for all 3 years of really Jordan Spieth, of Jerry. And
thank you.
When we look at Jordan Spieth and what he was doing, so he got outpowered in the first time he lost, right? Yeah. Then he dominated that second time. Almost very similar to Scotty Sheffler. Yeah. It's actually scary similar because he got off to such a big lead. They were talking about him breaking the scoring record of like the all-time, I think it was, what was it, minus 22 or something like that was the all-time record at the Masters for a 4-day total. And then from there, he has this meltdown. Now, I'm at Augusta National on that day, on Sunday, and me and a buddy are there to where we're on 15. We're actually up with Danny Willett, who ended up winning. Now, we're watching him on 15 because we're waiting for Spieth to come through.
Shocking.
All of a sudden, there's a guy inside the ropes with the green jacket on. He's got his radio earpiece in, and he turns to us. He could have turned to anybody. He turns to us and goes, you guys are not going to fucking believe what just happened. And I go, what just happened?
Yeah,
he goes, just you wait till you see this leaderboard change. And by the way, it's right across from the bleachers on the left side. I was just thinking about it because we talked about this earlier.
You're right.
And you're like, right. I don't know where there's the leaderboard, but it's right across from the bleachers on the left-hand side of 15.
Of 15.
Yep. And so there's the leaderboard, and he goes, wait till you see this change. And I asked the guy again, I'm like, what happened? He goes, it's going over the radios right now that Jordan Spieth just hit it into the water twice. And I'm going, what? Because immediately in my mind, I'm going...
Didn't he have like 3 or 4 in?
Don't quote me on that. I think it was just 2. I think he hit 2 because he hit
in,
the first
2 drop,
one.
3 in, 4 drop,
That's the thing.
5 in, 6 on, 7, 8. What do you make, 8 or 9?
So when he dropped, I think it was just 7. I think it was 7.
I don't know. I thought it was 8 or 9.
No, because he hit his tee shot, and then he decided to drop further up. He didn't re-hit the tee shot.
I remember that, yeah.
Most guys re-hit the tee shot. He chunked it right into the water, and then he got it onto the green. So what is he hitting? He's hitting, by that point, so you're hitting 3. You're hitting 5.
1 in,
and then
2 drop.
and then he 2-putted. So he hit the drop The second drop onto the green and 2-putted. So he ended up with a 7. And that put him out of but he was only like a shot or two out with plenty of holes to play. But all of a sudden, so we're sitting there, we know what took place.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, just you wait. Just you wait. Because we didn't hear roars. We couldn't hear anything.
You heard ahs, I bet.
No, we didn't. Because at 15, you're far enough away from 12
That's true.
to where you didn't hear it. Now, if there were roars, we probably would have heard it, right?
Yeah.
But we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, the leaderboard changes. And my God, was he right. The gasps that were across the entire gallery and then all of a sudden there was a guy in the background crying. Like everybody gasped at first, and then it was silence. And I swear to God, we'll end up having this guy on who was with me because he'll confirm this story.
I believe you.
All of a sudden we hear this guy weeping. And all of a sudden we're like, oh fuck, that guy had like 25 grand on this.
Oh shit.
So he thought he was so golden, and that there was no chance Spieth was losing. And I remember at the time I'm like, at the time I'm like, yeah, let's go up and watch Danny Willett because this thing's fucking over, right?
Yeah.
But
I would have just walked in instead of go watch Danny Willett. But
unbelievable.
Still.
And then it was crazy to see that Spieth missed the cut this year.
Yeah. Well,
I don't expect him to ever miss a cut.
No, he shouldn't.
Not at Augusta.
I think that was the turning point of where he's like, all right, that was mentally brutal. I'm going to take some time. I'm going to get married. I'm going to hang out with my wife, enjoy my life, and I'll come back when I want. What does he care? Plays his 15 events. What does he care? He's got to play 15 events a year, most likely, under the contracts of the tour and sponsorships and whatever. Or maybe, that's from
Mikey.
Pretty sure.
So I've met Jordan. I've been around his team.
Yes, you have. Yes.
Jordan Lewittis, Jay Danzy, those guys are class acts.
Mm-hmm.
His family foundation, these are just great people.
Yes, they are.
And Jordan is just a great dude.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, he is competitive as shit.
Yeah.
And when that happened, there was definitely rumblings that
a little wind taken out of his sails.
So what made Jordan Spieth? And you think about this. Was it how mechanical his golf swing was?
It was putting.
It was putting.
Yeah.
But with that, he hit a lot of great shots, right?
Oh, yeah.
But you would never look at his golf swing and go, he is mechanically sound, correct?
I always thought he would break his left ankle or roll it.
Because that thing gets rolled hard.
I think that and his left hand is going to, and down the road, it's really going to take
the elbow.
toll.
The left elbow.
Yeah,
the left elbow
exactly.
gets bent and takes a lot of pressure to hold that off. But that being said, and this is where even before he won his first Masters, and even before he competed with Bubba, I'm like, this kid has moxie. When he won the John Deere by holding out of the bunker, like there's certain people with moxie. It's the unspoken thing that some athletes have, and he had it.
He has it. Yeah.
And when all of a sudden that happened at Augusta, it's like what happened with Tiger for the very first time. And I remember Scott Van Pelt at a private Masters event telling us that when Tiger had his event take place, our famous song to our intro of our podcast, he goes, it was like Superman going to the edge of the building and for the first time ever looking down and going, if I jump, do I know I'm going to fly?
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And that was the best analogy
that is
I have
great
ever
analogy.
heard about the situation. And I relate that to moxie because Tiger had moxie, right?
Oh,
Tiger had all the confidence in the world. He knew he would make everything.
He still does.
Now he's older and he understands that, okay, it could go the other way, but if I practice hard enough, still, I'm going to make everything inside.
The guy's been out for 17 months and he still makes the cut. Yeah. The guys that are playing every week.
Tiger's the one guy that has survived this, right?
True.
You look at other people and you go through the history books. John Van de Velde, did he ever get back to potentially winning a major championship?
Ben Curtis?
Yeah. No.
Where's Ben Curtis right now?
But that's the thing. The
I agree.
moxie is something that it's not, you can't put your finger on it and say scientifically, oh, I get it. But ultimately, it comes down to confidence and your self-belief. And
right.
when you have that knock in your self-belief, that's going to be a tough thing to then overcome down the road when you're in those pressure situations. And guess what? Jordan has to revamp his swing.
Yeah.
He's had to do a lot of different things. He saw Butch there for a short period of time. I mean, there was a lot of things going on.
And how good has he done last year? It's amazing.
Well,
last year was great. I thought
that there's no surprise
right
that
he, knows what
he
he's
saw
doing.
Butch Harmon and
Done.
immediately started playing better.
Yeah, I wish Ricky would go back to Butch, or if is he still with Butch?
Oh my God, did you hear Butch's story on Ricky?
No, I don't know anything. You know I don't read. You know I don't read.
Oh God, so Butch is super direct, and when we were talking to David Ledbetter, I brought up that story, right?
Oh,
he's
that's
very
right.
direct, but no, with Ricky Fowler, when he went to him, apparently, and Butch said this publicly, so I'm fine to share this. I don't know the exact details to it, but basically the context was that when Ricky came to Butch, Butch was like, "Listen, you've got so many different issues, and I'm surprised you can even make contact with a golf ball." And all of a sudden, he started having Ricky do some drills that like anybody could do, and Ricky like couldn't hit the golf ball.
Really?
Couldn't make contact.
How long
And
ago are we talking here?
Last year, Butch was
Yeah,
on a
last year
podcast,
was-
and he was talking about how when he was working with Ricky, because Ricky left him, right? So it didn't end up working, and a lot of times, like, a lot of people can't handle the directness. I love it. Like,
Sure.
I flourish in it.
Yeah.
Being a New Yorker, I'm like, give me the direct feedback. I don't want you talking behind my back.
I grew up with it.
I want to know what I'm doing wrong, and I want to get from point A to point B as fast as possible.
I grew up with it,
But
so I
doing
get
it correctly in a straight line without all these cuts in between. And
Yeah.
that's where, like, with the story of this whole entire thing between Butch and Ricky, it seemed like it didn't gel very well, because when you start providing that type of feed, or you provide a drill to where you take a tour pro and he can barely make contact with a golf ball, there's going to be a problem there. Like, you're killing confidence very quickly. I wonder what the drill is as well.
Yeah, that's a good question, because I mean, I just wish Ricky had more piss and vinegar. That's all. I wish I made double. Well, I'm going to smile and put my head cover on.
You think he's got the Charles Howell III syndrome that DLB was talking about?
But Chucky's 3 sticks is amazing. That guy can, I mean, he's made over
but
500 cuts.
But like DLB said, well, that's the thing.
I mean,
his
let's
whole
be
game
honest
is,
here.
let me just make cuts. And actually, Kevin Kisner, they were talking about that on the broadcast.
Kiz.
Colt Nost was talking about it. And Colt did a phenomenal job during the
Colt's
Masters
amazing.
because he was
Those guys are
doing
great.
the featured groups. And
Yeah.
Tiger was one of the Tiger was the featured group the first
yeah.
and second day, really.
The
and
featured player.
Colt was just absolutely crushing it. It was the only reason that I actually continued to listen, because of his commentary. Shane
Yeah.
Bacon's great as well. I shouldn't say that. Shane
Colt's great.
did a great job, but those two together are kind of the modern commentators
Well,
that just do a
Colt-
great job.
Colt knows because he's played all these courses. Colt, Colt is a great player.
Yeah.
I don't think people realize.
No, I
how
didn't
good-
before you and I talked about
this
it.
motherfucker can putt, first of all, and he can chip, and he hits it straight. That's why he won, the U.S. Amateur, and that's why he got on tour. If he didn't have a couple injuries or whatever, wasn't so goddamn ugly, I think he would be just amazing out there.
Colt, I think you're a beautiful man. Don't let Mikey talk to you like that.
He knows I love him. He knows I love him. I mean, I love that son of a bitch.
He is great.
I love him. I mean, Colt, this one's for you, baby.
Colt 45. There we go.
I would never drink that beer in my life.
No,
first of all.
but in honor of Colt, I
What
would.
is a Colt 45 anyway?
Yeah, it's
Is it like a
one.
Cobra or a Mickey's or something?
Yeah, you got to get real when you get one of those.
No, in high school we just drank Natty Ice.
Oh, you ever
Yeah,
drink hooch?
Like moonshine?
No, moonshine's great.
Oh,
Hooch
yeah.
was like a flavorful thing, like way back in the day.
I thought hooch was a nickname for moonshine.
It might be now, but back then it wasn't. There was actually like a flavored liqueur. You can't make this shit up. You can't make it up. This is the Pull Hook Golf Podcast. Hence, Mikey just hit a straight pull hook.
No, that was more like a duck.
Tiger hit a pull hook, by the way.
I saw a lot of pull hooks out there.
Well, Tiger hit one, and I'm just sitting there smiling. I'm like, see?
Public.
DLB wants to talk about the push fade. No, the pull hook lives on. Everybody hits a pull hook.
See, public, you got to realize what Matt and I want to do down the road, pull hook golf, what we want to do is get a crew and go to every event, and we're going to follow the guys that are shooting 78, 79, so you amateurs don't feel that bad when they 3-putt from 10 feet.
And there are those guys.
Oh my God, there's a ton of them. I'm one of those guys. But I'm not on tour, but I'll do it.
But nobody follows them. Nobody has any idea that this is going on.
Right. And you know, and while they're making so much money on the for the broadcast, we're gonna have our own little.
Yeah, think of Monday Night Football and what the Manning brothers brought to it, and now they're doing J-Rod, where they've got Michael K. And they've got A-Rod doing the baseball broadcast on Monday nights as well, just like you and I would be doing it right now.
I don't watch sports.
I know you don't. I do. No, I watch a lot of sports.
Concerts. I watch concerts.
You and I could do that for the players that are at the bottom. Yes. At the absolute bottom. And they could actually, we could have a web broadcast of the players at the bottom, and we would love to just commentate on them.
Remember
Tiger Tracker was fantastic. No matter how bad he was doing or great he was doing, Tiger Tracker was on him.
We're going to go follow
We want to do the last 5 guys on the leaderboard.
Correct.
I want to follow a fivesome.
And I want the public to know that these guys are on the PGA Tour, and they do the same mistakes you do. They do the same mistakes you do. I do. Everybody does. Everybody has a bad day. You know what? There's a saying, you can't make every putt. You know what my saying is, and I believe in this? Well, you can't miss every putt either.
Oh.
That's seriously,
That's positive reinforcement.
You can't miss every putt either.
Yeah,
you can't, it's how you, you probably can. I haven't. Even if all it takes is one putt. One putt.
You and I talked about this. You and I are both streaky putters. When we're off, we could miss every putt. You know that's true.
If I would have just made 2 more putts
around. Oh, Jesus, here we go. Back in my day, I used to walk in 10 feet of snow.
If I would have stayed out of the bars, I would have
Hang on a second. I do have one last thing, though. Because part of the Pull Hook crew, which he did it at Sawgrass. He did it once again at the Masters. And my God, was he right there. And I really, really thought if he could just keep his swing together and put together a collection of shots, that his putter was going to take over. Yeah. Because Scotty was fluttering a little bit.
Like it has before.
Scotty showed nerves on Sunday. That was the first day Scotty showed nerves. Well, Cam Smith.
He's so good.
Birdie's 11. I think he
got
got within a shot or two. I don't remember exactly what it was. He was within a shot at some point during that 4th round. And then 12 happened to him. And he got a little sideways with it, and he blocked it out to the right, and it never had a chance. He knew it off of the club face. But how good is Cam Smith's putting? It is silky.
Well, how good is he, period? That's my point. Everyone has a bad hole. And especially on the gun like that, on that hole, that green is not that deep. Your number has to be spot on.
That's why I hated that critique. I hated the critique. And if you go back a couple episodes, you're going to hear me when we talked about on episode 2, Cam Smith and how the broadcast of Golf Channel and so forth criticized him about having a wild golf swing. I'm like, where? Where is that a wild golf swing?
Wild? Look at Tommy Two Gloves. Look at, you want to talk wild? Look at Bubba.
Everybody hits bad shots.
Yes.
Everybody hits bad shots.
Oh, I thought you were talking about swings. But yeah, everybody hits bad shots.
No, they were talking about his swing. They were saying that his swing mechanically leads to wild golf shots. And I don't see it. I don't see where it does. If anything, he doesn't continue to rotate because of pressure. And that's where he ends up throwing, and you ran into this because of your knee. All of a sudden, the legs stop working, you throw the hands, exactly, and all of a sudden you hit that hook. And his miss has been a hook because he releases the golf club. Yeah. He's not one of these players right now, which I guess is part of and I don't buy it. I've always had a problem buying that you have to be a player that holds it off. I don't believe it.
My coach has always told me just to feel like you're swinging left.
Correct. Hands need to go left. Hands need to exit left, always.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, if your hands start continuing going out towards the target, then you're going to flip. You're always going to flip. It's just science.
Well, you have to. You have to.
Yeah.
Right? And
because your hands can only go so far. But if your hands...
slag you have...
And because we're swinging on an arc, if your hands continue to go to the inside to the left on the exit, then from there, the club face can stay steady. But you don't have to hold it off. Like, I've never believed that. I've never believed it. Well, Jordan Spieth holds it off, right? Because he's got the bowed elbow. You've got guys like Dustin Johnson who holds it off. He never releases it because he used to run into the hook. I guess it goes back to Ben Hogan because he was the first one who ever really solved that problem of hitting a hook. And he fought it his entire career, which is why, by the way, full hook golf is what it is because
How about
he
that
used
picture
to
you
hit
found?
a
That
full
picture you
hook
found
all the time. Yep.
That picture you found, John Mallinger, texted me saying, this is the best picture I've ever seen. Two guys smoking darts, because that was me and him back in like when we were 20 and 21 on the by.com. Even though I still do.
They used to smoke cigarettes for the...
I love darts.
Well, you can tell it better than I can because I've never smoked one, but it kills the nerves.
Yeah. I guess it does.
That's why they were smoking all the time.
You make a birdie, you're happy, you smoke one. You make bogey, double, gotta have one.
Yeah, but are you jittery? No.
No.
Not when you're smoking.
No. No, I guess not.
That's why they used to smoke back in the day. Just as a heads up.
Interesting.
Yeah. Kind of like the blockers that you always talk about. And then I talk about CBD, and you're like, the beta blockers. The beta blockers.
Yeah, beta blockers.
Are beta blockers illegal on the PGA Tour? I wanted to ask you this.
I don't know. I know some players that took them. Yeah.
But are they illegal?
How would they know?
Well, I mean, the PGA Tour, I imagine, has a list of banned. I mean, I feel like they have a banned list, right?
Well,
I mean, the Major League Baseball does.
There's a story that came out about this kid that had an opioid problem, and he never got busted for that. He got busted for smoking weed. Like Matt Every and all those guys. Yeah, they're looking for that, and I don't know what else they're looking for, but...
Who else got busted for
Matt Every,
marijuana? Did Tommy
Robert
Two
Garrigus.
Gloves? Oh, Garrigus, that's who it was. Sorry, Tommy Two Gloves.
Yeah, Tommy Two Gloves, he got busted for wearing two gloves.
Yeah,
but,
I felt like that was against the law.
He's a great guy, actually. I know. Tommy's a great guy.
Well, I mean, he followed the role of Tom Brady. Tom Brady wore two gloves, right? Or actually, that was Peyton Manning.
You're asking me who in the NFL wore two gloves?
I'm talking to our audience.
I know nothing about football. All I
It actually pained my heart when I was watching Peyton Manning with two gloves on. That was tough to watch.
Was that bad?
Listen, it's just not what we're used to watching.
Right.
It's almost like you have a.
So was he right-handed or left-handed?
Right-handed.
And he had a glove on his right hand throwing the ball?
In the Broncos, yeah. Because he was playing in the cold. He needed more grip. And he had a bum shoulder. And so that was the year that they ended up winning because their team was so damn good. All he had to do was, like, hit check downs. And, like, he couldn't throw down the field. His shoulder was shot. He had neck surgery. And he couldn't throw down the field. So it was all these little dump-off passes. Kind of like Pennington from the Jets way back in the day. But again, this is the golf podcast. We digress. And we're back to the...
Well, I don't know anything about it. That's the thing. Football, I don't,
Listen, when we start having some musicians on and some surfers, when we start having them on, you're going to see me as a deer in headlights, just like you were me talking about the NFL.
No,
I do know that.
You'll know, it's a GOAT. I mean, it's going to be the GOAT. And it's going to be the other GOAT of aerialists, and then it's going to be the smooth GOAT.
Do you think Cam Smith wins the Masters next year?
You know what? I have no clue, and I want Dustin to win again.
I really thought this was going to be his year because of
Dustin
how
to win.
windy it was. He played
Actually, Cantley. I want Cantley. I want Cantley or Dustin.
Why?
'Cause I just do.
Sorry, Cantley. I have nothing against you, man.
I
I
do.
just don't love. I don't know. There's something about your game that I'm just not super in love with, and maybe it's the fact that like I love aggressive golf and I love going after stuff, and I just feel like you're a plotter. And
The guy's too good. The guy's too good.
He pisses me off because he is good.
Morikawa. I like Morikawa.
No, Morikawa needs some distance, but he was hitting, which goes
I don't
to
know.
actually a conversation that you and I were having about equipment. And Morikawa was hitting like this boring golf shot. There was a couple times to where he outdrove Dustin Johnson.
I believe it.
I think they played together.
Dude, that's like how
if I'm
Tim
not
Clark.
mistaken.
That's how Tim Clark is. He
was playing with somebody
and
super
runs.
who kills the ball. Yeah, it was Dustin because
Was it Rombo?
no, it was Dustin. Rombo finally got his chance. Did you hear Rombo before
I
the
don't call him
Masters?
Rombo.
Yeah, but good old Johnny Rom.
Right.
They asked him, they go, "Hey,
John, you're talking about Rambo. You got to be an American to be called Rambo." You know what I mean?
Johnny Rom.
I love Rambo though. He's a good guy.
Gave a pretty honest piece of feedback around the fact that because they asked him, they're like, "Hey, has Tiger given you any advice or anything like that?" And he goes, "I've reached out to Tiger," and he goes, "I've never received a text back."
Not gonna happen.
But they played together on it was Saturday. It was a Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember. Gosh,
Dude,
why
I
can't
wasn't even
remember
watching
this.
Dude, I'm sorry because I didn't watch any of it. I was out playing, and then I had the gig on Friday night and Friday and all that stuff.
Well,
so-
Rom played around with Tiger.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And
you know what?
Tiger was a lot more jovial and like open. I think it was Sunday because Tiger putted like had
Is this
1,000
pathetic?
putts.
Is this pathetic? Your
But he
partner
finally-
doesn't even know about
Well,
the Masters?
Everybody who's listening, like you're training. Like
Yeah, and
let's
I
be
didn't really
honest here.
care. I
You're
didn't
getting
care.
back. You're starting to play
Yeah.
in some charity events.
Yeah.
You're starting to play in some of these different things that are competitive.
And my best friends were on stage, and the band I used to kind of jam with a little bit.
Yeah,
so
Mikey had some fun out in San Diego. He
yeah.
could care less.
Well, I only
about
went
the
out one night.
Masters.
I went out one night, Friday night.
Which, if you heard him last week talking about how at the Masters he was in jeans and Vans.
yeah, I wore
and
jeans. No, Chucks.
Oh, Chuck
And
D's.
Vans, yeah. Yeah, that's right. I did wear Vans.
It
too.
would have been better if it was Chuck D's.
No, they were Chucks. I got pictures of
Good.
it. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, I don't,
Jeans,
I'm not gonna,
though. I mean, I feel like that's like walking
Jeans.
into a church and like having never been in a church
Well,
before.
that's what happens when you can go in the Mercedes with your brother, and you walk that way, and public goes through Frontierland like Disneyland, because that's what I call
I've been
it,
in the
Frontierland.
Mercedes that drove up to Augusta National,
Yeah.
but yeah, that's an experience actually. I should. Yeah,
Did you get to hit the shot of number 9 on the par 3 though?
that's you.
Yeah. Well, I lost that privilege, so it doesn't matter.
Listen,
It's all good.
I'm proud that you pulled that off and had the wedgie in the caddy outfit. Like I'll use that for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, my brother. I got a lot of.
But
heat.
the part that I wasn't,
shitty I hit the shot.
the part I wasn't having last week was the fact that you're like, and his clubs were 3 degrees flat, and I couldn't hit those.
Well, the tee box back there was very. I
Here
should have
comes,
just.
see,
I'm
folks.
not
Here
making
comes
excuses.
more.
No,
here
no.
comes more
You ready?
excuses.
You ready for it? I hit a shitty shot.
And for our podcast listeners, I'm doing like a crying emoji right now.
Yeah, I hit a shitty shot.
Yeah.
Still hit the green.
Let's just
Still
be
hit the
honest
green.
about it.
Yeah, I hit the green. but it
Mikey,
was
you're in a
shitty shot.
caddy outfit. Do you think if I walked up in a caddy outfit that I'm going to hit the perfect shot?
Yeah.
I'm going to give a bold prediction here for 2023. Cam Smith
me.
wins the Masters.
I'm gonna take the under on that.
How much you want
Yes,
to
I
bet?
tapped my drink on the table.
I mean, you've been tapping all night. What what odds are you going to give me here on air?
How many players in the field?
A lot.
I was it 75 or some shit like that?
No, I think there's like 80
100,
plus.
80 plus. Let's call it 100. I don't really remember.
No, let's
I
call it
don't-
100.
I don't even know. Let's call it 100. You got the top 40 in the money list, and you have
Yep.
past champions, and then you have whatever. So let's
Yep.
call it 100, okay? I'll give you 98 to 1.
I'll bet you $1,000.
1,000.
So you would own...
Done. So I get the field over 98 to 1.
No, you would...
No,
you would,
that's a bet.
Yeah,
I take the field.
You would owe me $98,000
Okay,
if you
and I got the field, and then
At
you would owe
$1,000.
me 980,000.
No.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's a bet.
Do you understand how odds work? Have you ever bet before in your life?
No, I've never been to horse races.
Do you ever?
I've never
think
been
that
to
we
Del
will
Mar.
get a sponsor of a sports game?
I've never been to Del Mar racetrack with Mark.
Then what the hell are you talking? You're giving me 98 to 1 odds.
He's not going to win.
But that would be. I'm giving you
I'm aware.
$1,000.
I know what it is.
Or you're paying me 98.
It's like betting on a gray horse that's a turf horse from Great Britain that's running on the dirt. I get it.
So, audience, you hear it here first.
98 to 1.
We're going to shake on a cheers. Cheers.
Go to your screen and do it. 98 to 1. Cam Smith will not win the Masters next year.
$1,000.
And I love Cam Smith, don't get me wrong.
I can't wait until you have to owe me $98,000.
Well, you're going to be waiting a long time then if
No,
you do
that
win.
putting stroke, I'm telling you right now, this kid does not, he's not one of those with the moxie to where it's like, if you have a bad moment, you're going to get knocked down. And mark my words, he might actually win this week.
Where'd that saying come from anyway, mark my words?
I don't know.
Do you know where brass tacks came from?
Nope.
Back in the 1800s. Now we're way off topic.
Wow, you are spitting
It used to
knowledge
be
on
a
us.
thing.
Is this real news
This is
or
real.
fake news?
This is real news.
Wow, I like it.
So back in the day,
Keep
it was
going.
a wood thing, and so they would mark off everything, and there were brass tacks in here, and they would measure it off that. So let's
What the
get
hell are
down to
you?
brass
I feel like
tacks.
you're playing the goddamn drums
That's
over
serious.
there.
Well, I'm telling you, because I'm on wood.
Yeah, you're tapping the freaking wood like it's drums.
Well, that's how they did it. It was on wood, and there's brass tacks. They said, let's get down to brass tacks, and that's how they measured things. That's where
I
they're
have
saying.
no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, you're younger. You're younger.
By like 4
But that's
years.
how. Hey, that's a lot. It's a lot. You're a freshman. I'm a senior.
Actually, a lot could happen in 4
I think
years.
I was a senior. I think I finished.
A lot could happen
Barely
in 4 years,
finished.
Mikey.
I know. But yes, that's true.
So that's my bold prediction
That's
for
how
next
bold-
year.
that's fine. I'll take it.
You heard it here first.
I'm on it.
We've
98
got
to
a-
1.
We've got a wager in the books.
So I got
Cam
the field.
Smith.
I got the field.
I think he's going to tighten up his swing. I don't think he's going anywhere.
I hope you win.
His
Okay, so
putting
I'll give
stroke
you
is
a-
the best I've ever seen.
I'll give you $1 a day for the next 98,000 days.
It's better than Brad Faxon's.
Yeah, that's a bold statement.
Mikey,
I'd have
there.
to talk to John Cook about that one.
Go for it. But I think he might actually confirm this because there is no wasted motion in that putting stroke.
How does Ricky look at Ricky's stroke?
No,
How
and
good is Ricky's stroke?
Here's the thing: Ricky's stroke is great too, but it's not as good as Cam Smith's. When you watch Cam Smith at the Masters,
I'm with
that
you. I agree.
that
with
sealed that sealed the deal for me because when you can do that on that fast of greens with that much break,
you. And so, yeah,
nobody can.
nobody
like,
realizes how bad, like how hard 17 green is. You know how hard 17 green is? It's, well, yeah, you stood there. I mean, it's nuts.
It is.
I think I
nuts.
walked. I drank quite a bit that day because it was cold.
There's a story of Tiger playing with Charlie right before, and Charlie would go, "Is that right edge?" And Tiger would go, "That's 3 feet outside right."
Yeah,
And Charlie would go and make the putt.
Charlie's gonna be a stud.
I'm excited.
I am too.
Yeah, we're
Charlie's gonna be
listen.
a stud.
That
Well,
barometer,
Cheyenne,
that
Cheyenne can
barometer.
play.
Yeah,
Cheyenne Woods could play.
I
She's
used to
out
work.
here.
I used to work with her mom at
She's
the
awesome.
AWGA.
I've never
And-
met her, but she's like I see her on commercials. I see her swing. I'm like, Christ.
And me as a huge Yankees fan, Aaron Hicks is her husband. They're having a child together. Congratulations.
That's right.
Awesome.
You must be out with one of the Yankees.
Keep drinking your fizzy. Anyways,
Oh,
as we look at Harbour Town and that golf tournament, wow, that was loud, my friend. That was loud.
Let's get the one next ready. It's the last one though.
Well, we're going to
Well,
finish
last one
up
here.
Harbour Town, and then we need to get to a very important topic.
Let's just get to the important topic. Harbour Town's a great tournament. You know, it's a great tournament. Whoever wins the Plaid is great. You know what I mean?
Get it.
But
Get it, Mikey.
You know what I mean?
You're
Great.
on it.
I
Hey,
hope they.
what's
it's
the
gonna be a
next
great
topic?
event. You tell me. I'm following you. I love that shirt. Desert Mountain. Now that's a golf course. That's a compound. 88,000 acres of just pure
7 golf courses.
That is a great place.
It is a
love
great
Desert
place.
Mountain.
Shout out to Jeremy Smith. I love that guy.
Oh.
He's one of the head pros up there. And I was working underneath him. And I'll tell you what, when it comes to customer service and just knowing how to interact with people, that guy is pure class. Pure class.
Well,
One of the classiest people that I've ever seen. And just the way that he interacted with people
You have
was
said nothing
unbelievable.
but highly things about him for the past couple of weeks, and since we've been talking about doing all this.
The entire team up there was phenomenal.
I believe you. Yeah.
Like, I love Desert Mountain and being up there.
Yeah.
And my time there was, I
Well, and your
cherished it.
friends at New York too. The
Yeah.
guys that you're talking about in New York. I mean,
Yeah.
you could take the city. You know, how I feel about all that shit. I would live on the sand before I lived in New York. You know what I mean?
New York has sand.
No, I'm not going to the city. I just can't. Andres Huber invited me, and if I ever ran into
Mikey, you do know that like Long Island and upstate New York, like Westchester area.
I've been
is
to
a
Westchester.
golf-
I
is a
stayed at
golf
the Hilton
mecca.
Ride. I stayed
It's
at
a
the
golf
Hilton Ride.
mecca.
I stayed at the Hilton Ride and
The
played.
number of great golf clubs that are out
That's
there is
amazing.
unbelievable. I mean,
It's
Colin
not the
Burns and
golf
what
I'm
he
talking
does
about.
at Wingfoot.
It's not the golf
It-
I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know, but Colin Burns and what he does at Wingfoot, especially, is unreal.
Wingfoot's amazing.
Wingfoot is one of the best facilities.
I'm not talking about the golf. You know when You know I'm not talking about the golf. You know I'm not talking about the golf.
You
Okay?
sound like a New Yorker.
Everyone thinks that, and I can't stand it. I'm just
It's
kidding.
actually a compliment.
I know. I'm just kidding. But
Mikey, why don't you talk to us about Operation Game On? This was your first event officially back, and it was for a great cause. It was for your father's charity. Tell us
15 years running.
Give us the scoop. I know you brought it up on a previous podcast episode, but tell us about Operation Game On and what you were doing out there and the people that you were interacting with.
Yeah, so Operation Game On, what we've been doing for, 15 years now. We obviously had a couple setbacks the last year and a half because of the fake flu. And what we did is, we raised money for our vets. Basically what it is it's our vets that come back that have PTSD and that are amputees that played golf and that still want to play golf. So TaylorMade, being as wonderful as they are, has helped out the foundation with giving them clubs, going to the Kingdom, and then Del Mar Golf Center, giving them lessons 3 times a week. My dad being the ear for, hey, if something's wrong, you call me at any time. And I made the same point the other day, if any of you guys, and I'm there twice a year, every year, I've never missed one. You know what I mean? And actually I missed one. It was in the beginning because that's when I was working for Toyota.
I'm
only
so
missed
disappointed.
one. I know, but they count on me being there, and the love that I get from them.
Looked like you had a good group out there.
Oh yeah. So I had my buddy Pat Sullivan that I grew up with, Mark Damaskell. We had Greg Davis. And Pat Sullivan has always, and his father and mother.
There were some ladies in there too.
Yeah, Stefania, who is a good friend of mine. She is a personal trainer, and they have a company out here too, and in San Diego. But she's wonderful. She volunteered her time. She helped me with PT on my leg all week in San Diego, and and then Ernie Hahn came through big, with the Wonder Bus, and Ernie Hahn in San Diego is like Bob Parsons in Scottsdale. I'm not even kidding. Ernie Hahn actually he's one of the greatest human beings in the world, and we helped them out. The Gateway Golf Group too helped them out with stuff, and we're gonna help them out again. But the tournament alone was, we had 70 players, 165 players.
Any idea how much money was raised?
Dad, I haven't asked him. He has to go in for surgery for something on his finger, his finger. So we don't know yet. But the best part is,
so it's still being totaled up.
Yeah, it is. It is. And we had stuff on every hole, obviously, and then a lot of my friends stepped up, and I think my friends alone were probably putting in 25 to 30 grand.
I remember you saying you're like, I've already raised 25K.
Yeah, just asking my friends.
And I was like, wow, geez.
And then my friend Paul Jolson and his friends, put in 15K. And then Sully put in 10, him and his family, with Sun City Fuels and Chevron and all that stuff. It's just because my buddy Sully's a cancer survivor, so I try to help him out as much as I can with the cancer stuff. And his mom and dad, I've known them forever. And so I try to help as much as I can. And the vets love that I show up every year. They can count on me every year. And I don't want to let them down.
Well, it's got to be fun to watch somebody like yourself.
Oh, it's so fun. We have such a good time. It's such a and it felt great to be able to play golf. That was my third round back.
I know, and I was shocked. Those positions you were getting into.
I'm like, see that?
You were sending them over to me, and I'm like, Mikey, that's actually a real impact position.
Well, I put it on my Instagram page as my profile post because that arc again in my hand where I wasn't able to do that before. And I'm like proud of myself for it because I put it in the work. You
absolutely should be.
I put it in the work and I'm happy and I played well. Just I'm having a little issues right. I finally got my wedges fixed today thanks to Cool Clubs. I can always count on Cool Clubs and golf court, but in San Diego and Del Mar.
They took care of you.
Cool Clubs always takes care of me.
Well, apparently you got us a few golf shafts as well.
Yeah, Fujipat sent me some shafts, and thanks.
Shout out to Fujipat.
And then we also got some putting things coming, which we're gonna display on our next.
That'll definitely go up on Instagram. Yeah. You guys, if you're following our Instagram page, we've got some putting training aids that are coming out that we're going to give some testing to.
And
we'll give you a little bit of feedback to see
rangefinders they have.
Yes, but by the way, Cam Smith,
came from Europe.
As I brought up previously, he's actually one of the ambassadors of the putting solution. So I'm actually interested to try the putting solution and the putting training aid. But we'll drop more information on our Instagram page as we receive those and so forth.
The reason why I can't do it right now is because I thought I was still going to be in San Diego. I was supposed to go up to LA and play Pelican, Monarch, and some other golf or Trump's course because John Daly
sounds terrible,
Trump.
Mikey.
I know, but I
sounds
had
absolutely got off.
But I forgot I had a tournament next week, so I had to come home and.
Really, it wasn't the podcast.
Well, no, because I had my laptop all fixed, so I could have done it. I already had that lined up too, because my friend Scott Wilson.
The people want to know, Mike.
Scottie Wilson. So, but it was a great event. Operation Game On. Take a look at the site, operationgameon.org. You can always donate, and it goes straight to the families, and that's the thing. And
that's what's so cool about it. When you told me about it, and I looked into it. I'm like, man, this is such a great
and the pictures just came out. And then my buddy Mark Damasco of Endeavor Bank, his bank stepped up and he's like my real brother. He's just the greatest person in the world. He's got my back. He's got my best interest for me and everything. He's just great. And Sully is the same way. I have so many good friends. Rob Luke. He's been fantastic throughout the years. There's only so many people, and then the companies that still help me out, even though I've been out of it, like Fujipat and Fujikura. He you know what I mean? I don't ask for much.
It's classy.
Callaway.
It's the right thing to do. Yeah. And actually, we talked about.
Well, you can take the Monday qualifiers.
I was just about to get to it, which is
Monday
funny because
qualifiers for screwing it all
we
up.
talked about this last week. And I was telling you about how I still have a 3-wood from a Monday qualifier that I still absolutely love. I still use it in my golf bag.
Well, you could think the Monday qualifiers are screwing up the
Exactly. But not for the
deal.
reason that I'm not one of those that screwed it up because I'm
not saying you
have
are.
the golf club. I still own what I actually received from Cleveland at the time.
Cleveland, I was sponsored by Cleveland for, I think I did a 1 or 2 year deal with them, but I came out with Nike first. I should have just stuck with Mizuno, what got me there. See, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Tell us about the Monday qualifiers, though, how they screwed it all up.
Well, they grab stuff, and then, it's a Circle T Scotty Cameron or whatever, and Titleist is onto it, and they know what the hell's going on. And
well, they're serial numbers.
everything. Well, no, not necessarily.
You sure?
Yeah, I am.
Because I think they smartened up after a little while. Because I
TaylorMade
remember
did.
when this went down.
TaylorMade
they
has.
started putting T on all of the serial numbers.
Well, you'll see a plus sign on the TaylorMade head. Okay? So that's really the difference. And then a Circle T, or like my putters say prototype or whatever. But I would all have mine stamped Iron Maiden or the Trooper or, all like Fade to Black, Metallica, Iron Maiden songs stamped on the back.
Because you're fancy.
And then a skull, of course.
Is that your stamp on there? Gotta have the skull?
It's gotta have a skull.
Yeah.
I love skulls. Skulls are just like Tommy Armour. I mean, we both like skulls, but he's older, so I'll let him take credit for it. But I got skulls everywhere. I like skulls.
But
skulls and crossbones.
Take us to why the Monday qualifier ended up becoming such an issue.
Because they would sell all the stuff.
Manufacturers, yeah.
Because they would sell all the stuff. They would sell the stuff. They'd qualify, miss a cut, take the stuff, pay their caddy, sell the stuff, and go. That's in a
way, is that just the price of doing business?
Mm-mm. Because the companies would pay you X amount of dollars to use their driver that week. A shaft company.
Even for a Monday qualifier?
Yeah. I remember Apache used to pay me $1,000 a week just to use their shaft.
There you go.
And then TaylorMade. Let's see if I was sponsored by TaylorMade though for 3 years in Adidas. It's been a while, but that was back in the day. But yeah, I truly believe that's. And then all these amateurs want stuff, and then now all the colleges are getting it. So
now all of a sudden the rules have opened up around the collegiate and amateurs to where they can start to receive equipment. Right? We were talking to DLB about this. This is just like the NCAA with what they're doing around college football and so forth. That you can bank on your likeness and be able to make money off of that. And so the same thing goes when it comes to equipment. And when it comes to amateur status, you no longer are restricted.
I collected checks as an amateur. I didn't give a shit. I did. I collected checks.
You listen to this?
All it was a check, stamped, gift certificate. I could deposit that right in my account when I was a senior in high school.
I can't say that I did.
I did.
No, but I can't say that I did not do that because I did.
I don't give a shit.
I did.
25 years ago, so who cares? I did it.
Because I literally played on the Butch Harmon Vegas
tour. I made a lot of money.
And then I went back after I had cashed a couple checks from the Butch Harmon Vegas tour and actually went back and played on the Grand Canyon University golf team for my final year.
Yeah, I didn't care. I didn't give a shit. I did not care. I'm trying to find the Gareth is his name. The company, damn it. He sent me the stuff to the bridges and it's there, and I tried to reroute it to get to us prior to the show. So I know he's going to be listening, but I called the Bridges today because I had to have the guy that said, "Would you shut the fuck up?" I had his golf cart fixed today with new batteries. So while he's in Florida, so I
send him the clip and let him know that he means business.
Oh, he's getting the clip, but I had his golf cart fixed today with new batteries. So when he gets home, his golf cart's gonna have new batteries in it. So I
think that's a great place to just wrap it up.
Yeah.
Oh God, we bring it all the way back around.
I was there for 9 days.
Mikey, cheers.
Cheers
Episode 5 in the books.
Thank you for helping me with my computer today and getting everything dialed in. And
you got it, buddy.
I will talk to you tomorrow, and I will see you Saturday morning.
Thank you for tuning in to Pole Hook Golf, the podcast. Make sure to hit subscribe and go to www.polehookgolf.com for more information.